Good evening. Welcome to VATV. As you know, VATV is co-produced by VAT8, Vietnamese American Initiative for Development, and Boston Neighborhood Network. We tape live every Wednesday evening from 7 to 8 p.m. And our show is rebroadcasted every Sunday at 5 p.m., Monday at 1 p.m., and Tuesday morning at 11 o'clock. On Wednesday, you could call in and share with us your thought. The phone number for you to call us is 617-708-3290. We hope that our show will provide you with some useful information and to create better understanding between Vietnamese American community in Boston and our friends around Boston. Our show usually have two parts. First, we will share with you some of the exciting developments, some events around Boston, especially Dorchester. And after that, we will have a discussion with one or two special guests. First, I would like to share with you some of the exciting events that will happen in the next few days. In Phil Corner, this coming Saturday, November 30th, there will be Phil Corner Community Holiday Tree Lighting right at Townfield Park. And it will take place from 6 to 7 p.m. There will be, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, and there will be a refreshment and a present for children. I attended this last year. It's a wonderful event which brings a lot of people from different groups together in Dorchester. So I would encourage and sincerely invite you to join one of the community groups in Phil Corner at the holiday tree lighting on Saturday, November 30th. The second thing that we would like to share with you a little more, I guess, serious, as you know, in the Philippines 2 weeks ago, there was a big typhoon, basically it's a hurricane, which was 3 times stronger and more devastating than a Sandy hurricane. And Philippines has been an ally of the U.S. For the past many years. The Filipino people fought together with U.S. soldiers during World War II and also during Vietnam War. And for us, as Vietnamese American, a former refugee, I felt that we owe the people of Philippines a debt of gratitude for all of their help during the refugee crisis in the 80s and 90s. So therefore, VAT8 has partnered with East Boston Savings Bank and Mount Washington Bank to raise funds to help the victims of this terrible disaster. You can make a donation to Philippine Relief Fund at all of the branches of East Boston Savings Bank and Mount Washington Bank around Boston, as well as at the VAT8 office, or you can also donate online at our website, vat8.org. And around our communities, there are many fundraisers to raise funds for the same purpose, to help out Filipino people, friends in the Philippines. So if you'd like to make a contribution, a donation, please feel free to contact us. And back to Boston. This evening, we are very fortunate to have a special guest from the Office of New Bostonian, and I would like to welcome Mr. Ân Lê to our VATV show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good evening. Now, we will talk about the Office of New Bostonian, and I guess many of us feel that Mayor Menino has done many wonderful things for the city of Boston during the past 20 years.
Absolutely.
He has many wonderful legacy. But there's one thing that for people who look like us, it is the Office for New Bostonians, because he was the first mayor that created the office.
Right, absolutely. The Mayor's Office of New Bostonians is the first of its kind in the country. and now I believe there's about 20 of its kind. Mayor Menino created this office in 1998 to really truly welcome newcomers into the city of Boston so that they can feel included in the city's social, economic, and civic life, and really to highlight and celebrate their contributions, really. It's not just about seeing newcomers as people with needs who will just take resources, but also highlighting strengths and contributions.
That's wonderful. So how do we define new Bostonian from the perspective of the office?
That is always a challenge for us. Typically, we define it as people from communities that are immigrant or refugees and the like, whether it be asylum seekers and what have you. But I think the mission is broader than that. In a sense, I'm a new Bostonian, right?
That's right. You're from California.
I'm from California, exactly. I was born in the United States, and so in that sense, I'm not an immigrant or refugee, but I'm the son of Vietnamese refugees, and I am a new Bostonian as well. So our office really aims to make people feel welcome and help them, guide them to fully integrating into living in Boston.
So you're from California originally.
Yes.
So what brought you to Boston?
Oh, the education, absolutely. I was looking for a graduate school program that really had a vision that was much more global, much more cosmopolitan, recognizing that global doesn't just mean leaving the country that you're from, but recognizing that global comes to you also. And I saw that at Boston College. So I came and entered the Masters of Social Work program there. And then I also got into the Boston College Law School. And so I finished school there, and I applied for jobs throughout the country, looking to work with immigrants and refugees. And I was fortunate enough to be hired right here in the city of Boston.
That's wonderful. I think I've been in Boston for over 30 years. I think we feel very fortunate to have young, talented people like you to decide to stay in Boston.
Oh yeah, it's an amazing city. It's an amazing city to stay in, and the energy here is just so special. I mean, people come in from all over the place, and like you said, yes, people stay. It's a great city to be in.
Good. Most people, after they graduated from law school, they want to make a lot of money. They want to work for a law firm. They want to do something that make them look very attractive to other people. So. Can you share with us what motivated you to work for the Office for New Bostonian?
Sure. I think it was always values that were ingrained in me as a child. Before my parents were married, my mother lived in an intentional community in Vietnam, serving the poor, serving people with disabilities. She ran a health clinic. She worked at an early education center. And my father is a clinical psychologist, so he's been serving people with different sorts of disabilities his entire career. And so that was always ingrained in me. But what really made me realize it was the year I spent in San Antonio, Texas, in a program called the Jesuit Volunteer Corps. And I served people who were less fortunate. And I think that made me really think about what I'm called to do and what I want my role to be in our communities. And I think that's why I went to pursue the education that I did. But ultimately settling on working with immigrants and refugees, I think is just connected to my experience. Even though I'm personally not an immigrant or a refugee, I feel so close to that kind of concept, so close to that experience because of my parents and my relatives and my community having grown up.
Wonderful. So I guess we Bostonians owe a debt of gratitude to your parents as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Always, especially Vietnamese.
Yeah.
The Vietnamese culture has an excellent value of owing gratitude to your parents.
Yeah. Talking about being an immigrant, you definitely not an immigrant. However, for people who look like us.
That's right.
The first question people usually ask is, where are you from?
Exactly, yes.
So how do you deal with that?
I say I'm from California. I say I'm from California, and then I talk about having grown up in California, and how of course after that people start asking, but where are you really from? And it's kind of an issue in our society that is only starting to get looked at critically, and of course the question really is, why do you look the way you do? Maybe sometimes. And I take it as people coming from a place of curiosity, a place where they want to talk about the interesting aspects of your heritage. And so then I will address that then, oh, my parents are refugees from the Vietnam War, yes.
I think that's a very good answer. And for me, that question is more about what is really an American.
That's right, right. And I feel as American as people who don't look like me as well. And I think that's a big part of our office's mission, is to not make integration an experience only for the newcomer, but to make integration an experience for the host community to really accept them in and say or think to themselves that an American is people who are here who want to be here.
Good. I guess for the mission of the Office for New Bostonians, we could sum up that it would not only help immigrants to integrate into Boston, but also help non-immigrants to embrace, appreciate.
Absolutely, yes.
The cultural heritage.
It works both ways, of course, yes, absolutely.
So I am an immigrant. I look like one, I talk like one, and I guess I do a lot of things that tell people that I'm an immigrant. What kind of help can I expect when I walk into your office?
Well, first I'll start off with, I do a lot of things that look like, make me look like an immigrant too, and I love it about myself actually. But if you walk into my office, we are ready and willing to help constituents who call us on the phone, email us, or physically walk in, despite our office being pretty small and despite the fact that in many cases we'll end up having to give people referrals. But in terms of helping people with their issues then and there, by and large, it's with city services. So if they're having difficulty accessing city services for whatever reason, and typically people who come to our office, it's because of a cultural difference between the country that, the experiences they had in the country they came from, and an understanding of the way city government works here in Boston, or city governments working in the US generally, or a language barrier. And so we work to try to decrease those barriers by educating people, by making phone calls or referrals on their behalf, explaining to them how to utilize city services, and then finding interpreters for them.
Good. Talking about languages, I think there's a perception out there that immigrants these days don't really want to learn English. Is that true?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. The lines are out the door. We have been integral in helping to start now it's an organization, but originally it was just a partnership program called English for New Bostonians, which is a city, community, and private partnership to offer more English as a second language or English to speakers of other languages classes to adults throughout Boston. And every year we serve over 1,000 students, and there continue to be waiting lists. People are waiting in line. They want to learn English.
I know that, and I think as a former immigrant myself, we continue to learn English every day.
That's right. That's right. My mother has been here since 1982, and she still takes classes, and she loves it.
Yeah, good. Wonderful. We have a caller on the line. Good evening.
Good evening, no?
Hi.
I have a question for your guest.
Please go ahead.
My question is, what is the percentage of success rate does the New Bostonian government office does?
I'm sorry, what is the percentage of what?
What is the percentage of success, a number of New Bostonians does your guest incorporate? Meaning, how good does he do at the job?
You know, thank you for the question. I actually had a conversation with someone this morning about how to actually capture this, how to actually measure this. It's a very difficult task. It's very nebulous of an issue. You know, what I can say is that we do serve over 1,000 adult students every year through English for New Bostonians. We serve, you know, an average of 30 to 40 constituents who walk in or call our office or email us every week on all sorts of questions. And through our immigration clinics, which are twice a month, we have volunteer immigration attorneys who come in and give free consultations. So what the city does is just basically provide the space for it. We serve about 30 people a month through that.
Good. If I may ask, I think the question how successful our programs, your program or my program, have been, that question has been asked very often. And for us, one of the measure of success of immigrants that people often say is that more than almost 80% of small businesses that started in Boston
Right.
In recent history, it basically was started by immigrants. Whether that immigrant is coming from Europe, from Ireland, from Italy, or from Africa, or from Asia, basically small business. We can measure the vibrance of the economy, the contribution of tax revenue into
Absolutely.
the city is a success.
Yes, oh, absolutely. And I think that there's a strong entrepreneurial spirit that comes with being an immigrant. I think that by virtue of having to take this giant leap in your life, of having to come to a new place, a very unfamiliar place, you have this, you're emboldened by this courage that you've just done. And yes, many immigrants start small businesses. And to that effect, recently we've been working with a nonprofit organization that's heavily supported by the city called Tech Goes Home. And traditionally, they've been working through Boston Public Schools to educate parents on using technology, but they have this new small business development program to teach small business owners how to use technology to make their businesses operate better.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Who would fund that technology program?
So they do a very good job of fundraising from different foundations and private funders. I think a lot of people want to see more immigrant businesses do well. And I think there's just a general city interest from the community to see businesses that start actually, you know, thrive and succeed.
One of the, I think the thing that your office has done very well over the past few years is to organize, have a celebration.
Yes.
And I think that celebration is coming up very soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you share with our viewer what it's about?
Sure. The celebration is called the We Are Boston Gala. It's coming up this December 12th in the evening. And that's exactly what it is. It's a celebration of all Bostonians' immigrant heritage. It's a celebration of our diversity. It's a celebration of the contributions that our immigrant heritage gives to the city of Boston and the communities that live here. It's a wonderful event, and this year especially, we're honoring the mayor, Thomas Menino, for everything he's done for the immigrant communities. And we're also honoring George A. Russell Jr., who's the executive vice president of State Street, and who's just been an incredible advocate for diversity in the workplace. And we also have a corporate awardee, a community awardee, and a youth awardee. So it's going to be a very exciting event. And for anyone who's interested in attending, please call our office's number. It's 617-635-2980. Again, it's 617-635-2980. And the event is called the We Are Boston Gala. And it's in the evening of December 12th at Boston Convention Center.
How many people you expect to attend that event?
Oh, it's pretty large. It's pretty large. So the capacity is 1,000 people, and in previous years,
a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. And in previous years, we've come close to selling out. So over 900 people.
in addition to recognizing all of those wonderful leaders, are there any kind of cultural entertainment performance that we could enjoy?
Yes, absolutely.
Is it a fun event?
We're trying to make it as fun as possible. It's in, the event planning is still in the works. We're still talking and trying to find the right performers to fit the program. But what I can say for now is there will be a lion dance. We're actually hoping for it to be the cubs. So the younger children doing a traditional East Asian, typically thought of as Chinese or Vietnamese lion dance. We'll have a Caribbean steel drum performance.
Oh, good.
We're having an Afro-Brazilian performance, and we're actually looking into having additional performances. And we'll have some costume displays. We'll have displays on people, kind of testimonials, people who have benefited from the funds raised from this gala.
That sounds very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited for it.
Yeah.
We're working very hard on it.
Good. One thing that people, when they go to event like that, we all enjoy the performance. The more the better. And it seemed to me that from what you just described, there will be a lot of very interesting performance from various culture. I think that's wonderful.
Yes, absolutely. And we're working on, we're trying to get 3 more. So it's going to be a very diverse offering of entertainment, and it's not going to be all at once. So we want to make sure that our guests are constantly engaged and having fun, and not to make it boring at all.
Yeah, we enjoy that, but I think one thing that people enjoy the least is basically the speeches. Will there be many speeches, long speeches?
Well, we want to honor the awardees as much as possible. This year there will be few speeches, actually. Most of the awardees will have videos honoring them. So it'll be pre-planned, and so we can put a lot more effort into trying to make it kind of be more streamlined and fit and look good.
That's wonderful. We have a couple of minutes left. Once in a while, actually almost every week, I received many announcements from your office.
Yes.
So if people want to get, and those event information are very useful.
Yes.
How do people get those information? How can they get into your mailing list?
Oh, how to get it? Absolutely. Our website is cityofboston.gov/newbostonians. Once again, cityofboston.gov/newbostonians, and there are directions on our website as to how to get onto our mailing list. And if you have any announcements to make, you can also contact us through our website, and we're more than happy to make as many community announcements as possible.
If you have one advice for new Bostonians, what may it be?
Oh, get engaged, get involved, get to know your neighbors, get to know the people who live around you, and start contributing. It might not be much, you might be limited in your time or resources, but I think everyone has so much to contribute just in sharing your experiences. I think stories are very important, and I think the more people engage with their neighbors, I think the richer our city is going to be.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching VATV. We hope you enjoyed the show and the information. And please remember to join us in the future, HRA, to join the holiday tree lighting on November 30th. Thank you so much.